Welcome to the Charleston Regional Business Journal's live stream event. My name is Andy Owens. I'm the executive editor for the Charleston Regional Business Journal and SC Biz. You may be watching live or you may be watching on a video playback, but we're glad that you joined us because we're going to be talking to some of the business leaders from the Charleston region. And today we have with us Len Hutchison, who's the Executive Vice President and South Carolina Region President for First National Bank. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Andy.
Tell me this, how has First National Bank responded to the coronavirus outbreak?
It's been a great response. It's been pretty interesting. Believe it or not, the company had prepared for pandemics starting in 2018.
Oh, really?
Had some exercises they went through. That helped. Also, we had invested a lot in our digital platform, and that helped us to really respond quickly, more quickly than I would have imagined that we would. And what we did is we were able to quickly go to a work from home type of atmosphere.
Okay.
You know, I will say part of the problem early on was sourcing laptops. Laptops got hard to source.
Oh, that's so.
You couldn't, but we got those sourced in, and we were able to, from our digital platform, respond pretty quickly, put together in about 7 days a process and a program to handle the PPP loans. And, we ended up doing $2.6 billion. We did 150 loans in Charleston and $26 million just in Charleston. But of those, we funded 98% or approved 98% of the requests we got. And most of those were for companies under 100 employees. In fact, the large majority of them. And I think here in Charleston, our average loan size was about $170,000.
Wow, that's great. That's great.
And we did many other things for, we from a foundation standpoint contributed to the food banks $1 million, so that was one of our key pillars. And then with customer employees, we gave an additional 5 days for caregiver days, so that was 15 to allow people to be able to do that during the pandemic. And everybody really came together. I mean, started doing different jobs, doing different things to pull together to get it done. So I'm really proud of how we responded.
Going forward, do you think this is going to change how the banking industry and the commercial credit markets do business? Do you think things are going to get tighter?
No, it's not like the recession was before. Banks are much stronger today, a lot more liquidity. The Fed really stepped in from a liquidity standpoint early, and things have kind of settled. So I don't really see that as being a real issue. And your banks are lending through the cycle. I mean, right now we're actively lending. There are companies that are actively borrowing, not just the PPP kind of stuff, but just regular business that's going on. So your stronger banks are going to continue to go through that cycle because we paid a lot of attention to risk management over the years. So I really don't see that as being really a huge problem, at least at this stage.
So do you think the banks learned from the recession and applied some of those lessons
Yes.
in this?
Absolutely.
A lot of the companies.
As did our regulators.
Yeah.
We have more liquidity, a stronger balance sheet. So yeah, and this wasn't so much a financial crisis as it came out of nowhere. So it wasn't that you had companies are failing or real estate, and that wasn't what this was this time. It's something external. So it had a little bit different effect.
Yeah, definitely. So banking is about relationships, especially in markets of our size and small to medium-sized businesses. How do you maintain that experience without actually being able to do banking the same way?
Well, the only part of banking we really can't do the same way, as at least up until now, is the face-to-face interaction, closing. However, we've really utilized the Zoom platform and other platforms.
Okay.
I never thought I'd say it, but I really like the Zoom platform better than a conference call because you can see expressions, you see people, so it's much more close. And people have adapted. Law firms have had to adapt for closings. Electronic signatures, we really didn't have an electronic signature capability early on. Got that put in place real quickly so you can get that done. So there have been a lot of changes that have taken place from a technology standpoint. I think the technology that was out there is getting used more, certainly by the bankers. Bankers aren't the greatest necessarily at that, but we've gotten very good at it and been able to do business. And I've been on a number of calls and keep the distance, and it's working well. I don't see that relationship aspect changing at all. In fact, I think relationship banking is going to become much more important to businesses, probably more so than it was in the just in front of this, because being able to depend on your banker, have a banker you can call, somebody you can get in touch with, I think it's going to make a big difference.
Very good. Well, thank you for joining us. This is Len Hutchison, the Executive Vice President for First National Bank.
Thank you.